Okay folks, MBS here. I'm working on a Leyland P76 of all things today. Amazing. Alright, I never thought I'd see another one of these again, but hey, here we are. Little 6-cylinder P76. My job today is to get it going. Alright, the hasn't been started for 5 months. The owner says that 5 months ago when it was running, seemed like it was only running on 4 or 5 cylinders. So that's my job today, find out what's going on with it. Being what I am, I love carburetors and stuff. The first thing I did, because the air cleaner was off, was stick my finger into the carburetor and see if the piston moved up and down freely. And it's not, it's seized. Well, not totally seized. So, our order of operations to see what's going on with this will be cranking test, see if it's got compression variation, have a bit of a listen to while it's cranking. If it sounds like it's got 6 even compressions, we will move on to the carburetor and I'll fix that sticking piston, so I'll centralise the jet, and then we'll look at ignition system and see if we've got spark. Alright, once I get the carby sorted and the ignition sorted, it should go, eh? Everything tells me that once we've got fuel, once we've got spark and we've got compression, engine should run, unless something drastically has happened mechanically. But we'll pick that up when we do the cranking test, and we'll listen to that. Alright, so let's do the cranking test and then we'll do the carburetor. Righto, we'll put our foot on the floor, open the carburetor up, let some air in, and we'll crank it over. Sounds like it's got 6 compressions to me. Whether they're high or whether they're low, doesn't really matter. They're all even. So let's move on to the carburetor. Okay, you can see here, oh, that is quite stuck. Oh, now it's freeing up a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad now. That was just stuck at the very beginning. I could not lift it without much effort. It's got no oil in the dash pot, so it's going to lift up fairly quickly. That'll be okay. So, all right, we don't have to touch that. We'll go over to the ignition and we'll have a look at that. All right, let's start off with, we've got 12 volts at the ignition coil positive when the ignition's on. So I'll put this test light on here. Okay, ignition on, off. Okay, that's working. Now, if we put the lead over to the negative side and we crank the engine, that light should flash. Okay, crank her over. Yeah. Okay. We'll have spark. Okay. Lights going on and off. So we would have to have spark. So this thing would go if we get some fuel into it. So let's give that a shot. Okay, so we've seen that we've got a flash on the negative side of the coil while the engine's being turned over. That indicates that the points are closing and opening, closing and opening. So we must be getting a spark out of the coil if the coil's any good. So where do you go from here? Well, we could static time it, I guess, and make sure the timing is correct, make sure the dwell angle is correct. We can do all that with my timing light, but we're going to take a little shortcut. We're going to go straight for the fuel down the, put a spray of fuel down the carburetor and see if it fires up. If it doesn't fire up, then we'll come back and we'll have a look at setting the timing and make sure the timing's all correct. Now apparently this was missing last time he started it, so we'll see if it starts up and what it runs like. Alright, I've got the throttle and we're going to open this carburetor up and give it a bit of a spray. Rightio. Woo! That's not good. That is, whoa.
Good timing?
Yeah. We'll have one more go. If it does another one of those, the distributor, something's wrong. In there. Rightio. Oh, nearly. Again. Again. Okay, are we getting fuel? We should get it by the next time. Oh, nearly. One more. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, that doesn't sound real good, does it?
No, that's all right. No.
We might yeah, check your timing.
Okay.
Make sure it's good.
Good.
Because that just doesn't want to rev out. Rightio, I was about ready to start checking the static timing. However, I have found a problem already. Checking the firing order, yeah. Number 1, distributor rotates anti-clockwise. 1, 5, correct. 3, oh, that's on number 2. 1, 5, 3. So that is incorrect. 1, 5, 3, 6, that's correct. 2, okay, these two are mixed around. And 4, there we go. 2 leads hooked up back to front. All right, well, maybe we might have another go at firing that, eh? And see if it starts up. Let's try it again, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Crank her over and probably won't backfire this time. Just needs oil in the dampers. This is lifting up too quick. You want to turn her off, mate? We'll do some fine tuning to it in a minute.
Oh, car, isn't it? Open car.
Well, there you go, eh? Just 2 leads hooked up back to front. Okay, what we've done now is we've warmed the engine up, regardless of how poorly it was running. We got some heat into it. I've tried to adjust it down, but I've got the idle screw adjusted right off, and it still idles too fast. Okay, and it's got a funny little rough running bit. I had to remark the pulley because I couldn't see it with the timing light, and now I know why, because it's way up there and the timing light can't see it. But we've remarked it with yellow paint. No point putting the camera down here. I've never had any luck filming the timing flashes. So we're going to do the timing, get it where it should be, and see if we can get some adjustments out of it. All right, let's get it going. I don't think we need the aero start anymore. Rightio. Okay. Wow, timing is sort of way the hell up there. That is way too far advanced, so I'll move the busy. So I've got a spanner down here on the distributor, little 7/16. We'll loosen that clamp off a little bit and we'll retard the distributor. We'll see where that sits. Gets better. That's probably getting still too fast. Got it on about 870 there. Oh my goodness, right on 10 degrees specifications. You got to fluke it sometimes, haven't you? Alright. Well, now we fluked getting that in the right spot, we will tighten it up there. Now we haven't taken into account centrifugal advance yet. Whether that's starting too early or late, we'll shall see in a minute. Now I'll take the vacuum line off, and then we'll see if centrifugal advance is starting. Yes. The distributor advance is a bit sticky. That took a long time for it to come back, but it did come back eventually. So we're on 10 degrees, and obviously the advance starts a little later than idle. It's idling way too fast at the moment. 940. We can get it to come back. I think your cable is too tight. The accelerator cable. It's wrapped around the linkage. You might have to pull it off. Yeah, the accelerator cable has wound itself around the linkage here, and it's not letting it come back to idle properly. Okay, try that. See if that works. If I can get it to come down, yeah, that cable is still way too tight. That's stopping me from dropping the idle speed. So it's on 730. We might just do a quick carburetor adjustment, see if it's lean or rich. We could check that by simply lifting the piston up 5mm and checking whether the idle speed goes up or the idle speed goes down. And that'll tell us if our mixture is correct. Now we'll do the old lift the piston trick. That died in the arse. So that would be too lean. Oh, that's right. This could have rotten fuel too, couldn't it? Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't like being lifted. Now we could have float level trouble, mate. Hard to say, but yeah, further work required. I can get it to come down if I force the throttle shut. We're pulling against that cable, and that cable is really tight, so that's holding everything open all the time. It's very hard to get it to come back to idle. We'll check it at below idle speed. Make sure the timing is still good. Yep. I reckon if you put good fuel in it, it might not run too bad. Well, we got it going. Not too bad. But if I wanted to go any further with this, I would probably take the fuel bowl off, make sure the float level's correct, make sure the needle is seated correctly in the piston, that sort of stuff. But we've got it going. That was the objective for today, and we wanted to get it going so he could move it. Okay, job complete. We were tasked to get this thing going, and sort of half reasonable. And all it turned out to be was 2 leads crossed over, and we've probably got some stale fuel as well. It is going, it does start, it's not idling the best. The throttle cable is stopping us from returning this back to proper idle speed. We've got the timing correct now. Vacuum advance works, centrifugal advance works, even though the centrifugal advance is a little bit lazy on its return, and that's evident in the how long it takes to come back to an idle speed. Okay, so job's done. Catch you in another video.